Good to see you guys. Thanks for your support this week while Dan's away. So much to do, and I appreciate knowing that you're there supporting me. Whether you actually did anything or not, I know you're there. Thank you. The topic. If you read Dan's newsletter this week, you know that he's talking about spring and spring cleaning. And I think we're really focusing in now on Session, which is coming up. People have been helping put it together, and we're getting very close. It's the 21st to the 24th, and kind of is our spring awakening here. And I'm going to ask Melissa to share a couple of photos that I took this morning on my morning walk. I picked our first flower, our first rose of the year. I've always decorated the altar with roses from our yard. The new rental that we're in has enormous number of roses, and they're always seems like they always produce on Saturday for me. So for us. So anyway, this is our first one, and really happy to see it. The next photo. So I went for a walk this morning. I always do that to kind of reclaim myself, my body, my life. And one of the things that I want to talk about today is just how alive the world is. I mean, my God, I've got allergies so bad I can barely stop fidgeting while I'm sitting. Everything itches, and I don't know if any of the rest of you are dealing with that, but it's really not any fun. Um, let's move on to the next. Oh, hello. I've never gotten such a close shot of a squirrel. The squirrel really wanted to know what I have to say, so I thought, well, I'm going to remember this, that the squirrel wanted some information from me today, so he's part of the audience, or she. And then as I was walking, and here I'm thinking about spring cleaning. Let's move to the next photos, the next of them. Um, Everywhere I look in our neighborhood in Mount Washington, people are giving away things for free. Oh, and some people are just littering the road with junk, in one of the most beautiful views of all the city. But there's another side of getting rid of things, and that's moving things out that are broken, or you don't know what to do with it. Maybe somebody will pick it up when they walk by. And then I really wanted to take these home, these stretcher bars, but that was going to be really heavy and look just like I was going to break my back. So anyway, the whole world is in on this. Yeah, so we can go back to just me now. Thank you so much for your help, Melissa. Um, this time is innately transformative, isn't it? I mean, aren't we all feeling it? We're so hooked into this. We're all waking up, we're feeling renewed. I mean, we've been through, it's been a fairly long and coolish winter, and I've been really happy to wear all of my cold weather clothes, and it's the yin time of year where we get a chance to really enjoy the dark. We've read so many great books together in book club, and I'm sure that everybody's doing that. And it's an opportunity to really go inside and you know, really notice what we're living with and what we're working on. And now I feel strongly that it's time to break out. It's really time to come out and use what you've learned and put it out in the world and see how it works. I mean, in my case, it's I've been out there the entire year working with people, and a lot of people are going through what I'm going through, which is looking at my life and looking at all these changes that we're dealing with. And people get pretty disturbed about things at junctures, and I'm sure that they find ways to deal with it. But I am often I'm often in the face of their disappointment, and I'm a little sensitive about that kind of feeling being thrown at me. And so I've done some reading about disappointment and realized that it's really a lot about attachment, isn't it? So I mean, that's one of the things that we're trying to let go of here. So I think disappointment is a very big subject during the pandemic. I mean, my my son's future is, I mean, he's working, he's doing well, and they're, you know, he and his husband are doing very well and happy, and but his generation, I, you know, it looks to them like, what the F, you know, I mean, what's out there for me? So, I mean, a lot of people are disappointed, and I feel like we've really worked our way toward resolving some of these things. But let me get back to the growing, beautiful thing that's going on around us. I live in a place where the birds are just going nuts, and I'm sure that's happening for you too. Everything's green and growing. The weeds are all over the place. Flowers are everywhere. Leaves are squeezing out of infinitesimal spots on trees and what have you. And the flowers attract not only our eyes and open our hearts, but they also call in the pollinators that enable the, you know, ongoing propagation of each thing that they touch. It's a magical time. And the earth is angled in such a way and moves just slowly enough to slowly warm the soil, which, you know, causes the seeds to swell and burst and put out their beautiful greenery or whatever color they're showing us. And they also put down their roots so that they can make it through the coming dry and very hot season that's coming their way. We've had a little rain. I'm grateful for every drop. I'm always looking for more. And I think we just have to accept what we get and just be really happy with what we have and take care of what we can. And the wind also contributes beautifully. It's destructive, obviously, but it's trying to make the trees and the plants stronger. It actually causes them to grow more cuticle and give them more camber so that they can be very strong and make it withstand what's ahead of them. Because summer is actually a very stressful time for plants. People think that they're thriving, but actually, in many cases, they're dormant, and it's very hard for them. And you know, we're inextricably linked to this cycle. It's our cycle too, and we evolved with all of the plants and animals, and because of them, and we have to give them a great deal of credit for that. And we live in a time where we are looking at massive extinction of species of both plants and animals. And I think, and I have the feeling that it has a lot to do with the fact that we don't recognize them as our relations. And I'm I think that we're going to start seeing that more and more. I work in the garden business, obviously, and everybody wants so much more, and they can't get enough, and the plants aren't big enough. Nothing's enough. But, you know, what's really happening is a rebirth of our connection to the world around us. And I have to tell you, it's an actual event going on. People are devoted to life, you know, to plant life, to their lives. And this is really wonderful for us. We have the capacity to link to anything. And so seasons are really one of the things that we congratulate ourselves to be able to really embrace in a way that that we take on as a personal experience. And you know, we embrace, sometimes we embrace things that well, you know, life has an exquisite trap to it in a way. I mean, you know, our thoughts get us trapped, and we need to clear the bait away. And this is what we do here. We attract opposites because opposites are interesting, and opposites present problems, because if we don't feel like we really understand something, it can create a lot of friction. There's joy in it, but there's also confusion, and there's peace when we come to terms with things. And overall, you know, in between the highs, there's the lows. I mean, this is the interweaving. Why do you think there's weaving? Life taught people, humans, how to weave. You know, I mean, it's just, there's an up and a down to life. It's all there. All of this is there for us every single day. And we need to take time and really be with it and make peace with it all. We need to move beyond the things that we're attached to, and you're just not going to do that when you're busy. You have to take a little time out. I mean, and a lot of us have run away. We've seen ourselves run away from things, and I do it all the time. It's like, I start thinking about something and I start putting myself down or raising myself up, and either one is too much, and I must run away from that until I'm trapped with a situation that has me really go, okay, let's take care of this right now. Forget about looking good. Don't be blaming others. Even if they're blaming you, don't retaliate. Just stay with it. Find solutions to problems, and you'll be able to live with them much better. But I can stop altogether and observe at least once a day. Sometimes it's only 4 times a week. That's just, sometimes I just got to get out of here and get going. But I think we all know that Zazen is a great tool, and it's not a one-way ticket to bliss. Hell no. I mean, it's an opportunity to slow down and see what is really so in our lives. Where can we go back to our practice and listen to the wisdom that is there and feel it in our hearts and have that really nourish us. Those things are coming up for us all the time right now, and this is our opportunity to really go in and really, really clean up our act and kind of knock out the pieces that we just don't have time for anymore. Put it out on the street, take it to Goodwill, give it a new place to be, plant it in the ground. That I actually, being a shaman, I have to tell you, one of the things that I've been taking a class lately about the Andean shamanic work, and when they experience, they teach you that when they experience hucha, which is the heavy, dark feeling that we get from having misunderstandings, or we're jealous of somebody, or we're in some way really out of sync with what is, what is so. You give it to the earth. You create a conduit from yourself into the earth, and the earth will turn it into something beautiful and that's nourishing in some way. And I think that's such a beautiful practice, and so much like Buddhism, and it makes me feel good that the world is so round and has these complementary and similar understandings of what it is to be human, and to find peace and to awaken ourselves and stop believing that we have to run away, that we have to do this, we have to be that kind of person or this kind of person, and really give ourselves a break. Just go out for a walk and let that sun come into your head, let it just take over your whole being. It is beautiful, it's amazing. And if you can see, I'm sorry for the garden metaphors. It's just what I have in life. But weed your garden. Make way for the intentions. If you've ever had an edible garden, you know what weeds are. They're taking up space. They're taking away the space for the plants that are going to nourish you. Duh. I mean, how basic is that? So get rid of the stuff that's in the way, And at the same time, you're rolling up your sleeves and you're going to take on this work. Condition yourself. Give yourself a chance to withstand the hard work, and love yourself through it. It is hard to be wrong in front of yourself or anybody, but this is our chance. We get to do it. And don't put your back out. But if you do, call Ken. But first, remember to light the candle and strike the pose. That's what I got for you guys this week. I'd love to hear from you. Jeff.
Yeah, I'd love to hear more plant metaphors. I like those. Those are great. Uh, I I just really love your talk. I think it's so great. And I've been I've been doing this bowing practice that I kind of it's sort of like a sun salutation bow, Ken, mixed with a little tai chi in there. I don't know. I just came up with it kind of deal.
Hey,
But
that's really good use of the instrument that you've been given. You're
yeah,
creating actual, welcoming in of energy and, putting yourself out there, right, Ken?
yeah. But yeah. So I just want to say about that I do it barefoot in the grass. And Christine, where she lives, there's all these like redwood trees, and it's very peculiar for Los Angeles. But there's redwood trees and dirt, and there's like a stream, and it's awesome.
Wow.
So I do the bow for like 30 minutes, and my feet are in the earth, and I touch the trees with my hands when I'm all spread out. And even this morning I did it, and I just feel I do like a little sage cleansing thing, like do you know what I'm talking? Who am I talking to? All right, a shaman. So I do that, and then I do the bow, and it just gets me so connected to the earth, and I do feel like a lot of grounding. I hadn't really considered that when I have shitty feelings, to really like look at how do I put those into the earth and really get them in there. I'm gonna start doing that, but
Yeah, because it's like we're supposed to hide those. We're supposed to not talk about those. But if we have a regular practice of just recognizing that that's going on, then it's like you have this instant access to just getting rid of it,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, totally.
It's a beautiful thing. I think that was the work that actually you did with my friend up in Northern California. That was primarily the work that she was doing.
Yeah, she was doing a lot of that. Yeah, I'm going to see that sister today actually. So
Oh, good. I've been wondering.
for brunch. Yeah, she's doing okay.
Good. Good.
Doing okay. So yeah,
Thank you, Jeff. Nice to hear from you.
yeah. Great to hear from you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Ken.
Ken.
Oh, yes. Well, I mean, yes, Jeff and Lori, you both hit on one of the things that we can all do for ourselves, and which is why we call what we do a practice. Um, Zazen is a practice. In and of itself, it doesn't lead you anywhere, doesn't detract from anything. It just allows you to be.
Mhm.
And so, yes, I've over the years inculcated a daily practice, not only Zazen, but with Qigong and Tai Chi. And I also teach yoga during the week as well. So, there's something I do every day. And if I don't do anything at all, or any of those practices, I always go out for a walk. In the last For the last year, I haven't run, and as Laurie I'm a long time distance runner. And this month, April, marks 1 year that I haven't run. And it's because of the pandemic and wearing a mask and blowing out more air droplets when I'm running than when I'm walking, et cetera, et cetera. And I wanted to do my part in being a good citizen, so to speak. Um, and so this month I'm going to resume running, and get out there and reconnect with which sustained me. Literally, I've been running, with the exception of 2020, for 45 years.
Thank you.
So, yeah, so it's something that, all of a sudden I realize has become part of who I identify or what I identify myself with. In our practice of Zazen, one of the main questions that's come up, and I'm sure Paul is very cognizant of this with his theological studies, is who am I? What is the self? What is this self I keep talking about? What am I observing, and who is the observer? Who is doing the practice? Is the practice doing me? And does it matter? And so, yes, at times it does matter. I have to stand up for this or whatever. And that's one iteration of self. So I find that the most valuable thing about any kind of practice, and I don't care what it is, it could be from gardening to climbing redwood trees. I really don't care. What matters is that you do it, and you do it because that's what you find yourself doing. So Jeff talks about this practice, which has its roots, sorry for the pun, in all contemplative exercises. Why do we do martial arts in barefoot? Why do we do Tai Chi barefoot? Well, it's for that grounding experience of attaching the one acupuncture point on the sole of the foot, which is kidney number one acupuncture point on the sole of the foot. And that's your root to the yang energy of the earth.
Perfect.
And then now we have grounding, the electromagnetic charge of the earth itself when you're out there walking in the grass and on the dirt and all that stuff. So I always encourage my clients when they ask me about practices that I do. I said, hey, the easiest thing you can do is take your shoes off and go walk in your backyard. And if you don't mind being stared at, go outside and walk to the mailbox 2 blocks away barefoot, And yes, in Mar Vista, I'm known as the barefoot guy, but so what? I mean, growing up in Hawaii helps, because going to school and having to wear shoes was an experience. I mean, like, what? Wearing shoes to go to school? What is that? But I've come full circle. So I'm barefoot a lot. And yes, all of my practices, Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga, walking, running, all barefoot. I put on shoes when I bicycle.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, good idea.
I used to be so barefoot I would go barefoot horseback riding.
Well, I don't horseback ride, but maybe I should.
Yeah, you should try it.
But anyway, spring. We talk about spring. It's in Chinese medicine. It's a season of growth. It's a color green. It's the wind, the influence of the external environment on the internal environment, and the wind is a metaphor for circulatory flow and getting things moving.
Definitely.
And getting things moving outward, the expression of growth. Right now, I have a giant artichoke bush in my front yard, and there are literally a dozen of these artichokes just popping up.
Oh, send us a photo. That's so beautiful.
I'm like, oh my God, look at these things. They're like almost softball size. And there you have it, Yeah, well, of course. But anyway, spring is it's no more important than any of the other seasons. It just asks us to allow ourselves to express and grow.
Thank you, Ken. Thanks so much. Anybody else? Melanie?
I'm being called out. This morning I was preparing the backyard because there's going to be another birthday party. My neighbor upstairs, one of his daughters, is turning 8 or 9.
Oh.
9. So my feet were all completely barefoot and filled with dirt from getting the backyard ready for the girls.
Amazing.
So yeah, it's just this morning I was in the bathroom looking down going, oh my God, it's like the dirtiest feet. I didn't even realize I was tracking it all around the house. But I just wanted to say that when I fell in love with the property at Esalen and Big Sur, one of the things that I realized that I love about that place, there's 3 sources of water. You have the ocean,
Yes.
you have the mineral springs, and they also have a natural river that runs down the hill. But that property, talk about absorbing
Oh my God.
transformation, like human transformation. Was just so sacred. That earth and the water and the sky itself just holds so many people's processes, and you can really feel it, like literally just driving onto the property. For me, it's just like this Gaia calling for change. Just like, come here to change. And I know we get kind of attached to transformation or whatever the process is to get there. But that earth, man, it does it for you. It's just like, boom, takes hold of you and goes.
I mean, the earth makes it so easy. If we're humans have been caught in our heads for, gosh, hundreds of years. And we tend to have evolved in that direction. But, really our bellies and our hearts are really wise as well. And we can train ourselves to go there first. It's really just a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever been to the Ojai Foundation?
Gosh, have I ever been to the Ojai? No.
That's another really, really powerful piece of land. It has the very same magical.
Was it called something else, or was it always Ojai Foundation?
I'm sure it had a name.
Yeah, I believe that at one point it was called Matilaha.
Yeah, I've been there.
Amazing.
Yes, I've been there. That's what it is. Yeah.
It's an east-west running valley out there at Happy Valley, and they say that those are very they're places where the veils are thinned.
Well, I'm interested in what would it be like if we created a place like that? We created a vortex on planet.
I'm down. I got my name at the top of the list. That's what I want to do.
like make it happen. Woo!
Yeah, I see a big garden. Let's just do it. Let's find it. Let's invite it to find us.
I'm down with that. as long as everyone on the screen is there.
Well, there's always Zoom.
Yeah.
Well, we look forward to having you all that are able and wish to be in our company, pretty soon. I think we're getting there. I have to get past a few things, but this house that we're living in, it's not a big special house or anything, but the outdoor deck is spacious, and we have a lot of room for people, and we can still do Zoom. So, one way or the other, we're going to get together. It just needs to happen. And Melanie, you're going to come visit. Anybody else?
Hello.
Who's
this is Gabriel.
Gabriel, how are you?
Good. I'm not necessarily available on my camera, but I'm just gonna let you guys look at this beautiful blue and green mountains of the Yukon in Canada while I share. Yeah, thank you so much.
You're in the Yukon right now?
Sorry?
Are you in the Yukon?
No, I am in Topanga, so
Wow, that's amazing.
still getting to enjoy beautiful nature, but in a different space.
The people that own our house live in the Yukon.
Yeah, it's amazing there.
Yeah, that's why we're here, because they took their kids there so that they could go to school there, because they couldn't go to school here. And she was the woman is from there, and she was afraid that her two boys and her husband might not like the long, cold and dark winter,
Yeah.
So she couldn't commit to our being here longer than July. But we started pressing her because it takes forever to find a place to live in LA, and she said, "Okay, we're definitely here indefinitely." So it's good to see that it's that beautiful. 'Cause
It's ridiculous. There's wildlife everywhere, herds of caribou, beautiful bears.
they're amazing.
I highly recommend it.
Thank you.
But yeah, I was blown away by the Dharma talk. I it was like the best way to start my Sunday morning after that zazen. It just I really connected with using kind of nature and connecting with nature um to include or to use in your own practice of blooming and transformation with spring. Just like when you said it's spring cleaning and we're showing those photos, I was just I never cleaned my apartment deeply, and I was blown away because like this week I did like my deepest deep clean and like just cleaned everything up. There was like a corner of the room that like I touched and was just my finger was jet black, and I was like, how did it get this dirty? I was just like, okay, it's time. So it was the first time I had ever like done such a deep clean of my apartment, and I guess it's definitely in sync with the spring.
Yeah, it's so therapeutic. It just makes you feel so brand new,
Mm,
um, and it actually makes space for a different life.
yes, we're about
Congratulations.
to we're about to
Congratulations.
attack my girlfriend's closet soon as
Amazing.
well. It's gonna be great.
Amazing.
And yeah, I highly recommend for everyone to give a tree a really big hug because they love them too.
Yeah, they do. Thank you, Gabriel. That's great. Thank you so much. Mark, how are you today?
I am present, and that's about all I can muster today. I don't know what's going on. Things have been kind of just happening, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a
I
pro-
kind of get this way with the change of seasons. I've been spending a lot of time outside hitting up different trailheads over the weekend, and so I'm putting in the work to kind of, I don't know. I don't even want to say get past it because it's just where I am today. But doing the things to not stay stagnant and let whatever is going to happen. But thanks for checking in with me. I just don't have
that's
a
an
lot to say today.
that's an excellent response. And it's a pretty challenging new moon. So you're not alone. Thank you for offering. Hey,
I loved your talk.
thank you.
And I love the idea of spring cleaning. And I feel like during this time with the pandemic, there's some hope now. It's looking like people are getting vaccinated and our numbers are down. Things are opening up again. It really feels like, for me anyway, like a new beginning more than it ever has been, like more than it's been for a spring in a long time.
Yeah.
Because I think when all of us stayed home for a year, we got to really look at what works for us and what doesn't in our lives, and particularly like in our thoughts, and so it's just it's exciting and a little bit scary re-entry into the world, kind of as like these new people. We have the opportunity to kind of be new people in a
Yeah.
way, right? And
Yes.
so I love that the talk was about spring cleaning, about like things starting to bloom again, because it's like we're starting fresh, or it's like our coming out party in a way, you know. And it's also perfect timing with our session that's in a couple of weeks, because I mean that is like the real house cleaning is session.
It
I
really is.
mean, so anyway, those are just my thoughts. Thank you so much for your talk.
Thank you, Mel, and thanks for your contribution to getting my photos up on the screen.
Yeah. Awesome. No problem.
There's so much to learn. Paul, how are you?
I'm just gonna say, love you guys. I gotta go. I'm gonna
Okay,
go
Jeff,
meet my
thank you. It was so lovely
everybody.
seeing you.
Happy Sunday.
I'll be thinking of you.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, Lori, while you were talking, Reem and I went yesterday to Huntington Gardens,
Oh,
and it is just we go there fairly often, and the roses now have sprung. And 2 weeks ago, they were just cut stems, and now they are these huge blossoms. I'm sure there's
yes.
some teaching in that, but if you haven't gone to Huntington Gardens recently, now any time of the year is beautiful, but the roses and everything else is just fully an explosion in bloom. So
I'm going to go. Do you need a reservation?
you do, but you can make it happen. So yeah, so all good over here.
I'm inspired. Thank you, Paul. Dylan, it's good to see you. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. I'm kind of waiting for the feeling of spring to spring me up, I guess. I was in the hospital for a while, so it takes me a few weeks now to recover just from that. So
Yeah.
I've been up pretty tired out, but I wrote a long 6-page poem, which is my longest poem I ever have written. So
Wow.
and then I've been working a little bit on music, but yeah, just pretty tired, but hoping to get a lot.
One step at a time, one step at a time. And then before you know it, it becomes a stride, it becomes an opening where you can step way out. And all this work that you're doing is part of that step.
Yeah.
I mean, we're really happy to have you. And I think of you a lot.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hi, Shalay. How's biz?
Good. Without sounding redundant to your talk, I just kept thinking about the farmers. I go to the farmers market every Sunday, and sometimes I'll catch a Wednesday if I need to. For those of you that don't know, I cook meals and deliver them each week. So right now, I can't make enough variety of dishes to use the abundance of beautiful ingredients at the farmer's market right now. I was there and everybody's in such a good mood and everything's so colorful and there's so many different versions of green and purple and yellow. It's so beautiful and I'm so inspired and I just want to bring it all home with me and do something with it. But yeah, I guess that's what I was thinking about a little bit after your talk, just like how lucky we are in California to have so much available to us to be exposed to or to work with if we want. We're just really fortunate. And, all of it comes from, growers in the area. These are, farms around us. And it just a great way to be able to see the bounty of this area.
It is. It really is. That's a beautiful contribution. I appreciate that. Yeah. We have, Karen Lawrence, who sits with us sometimes, and her daughter Carrie sits with us sometimes from New York. Carrie came to visit her parents and to be out here for about 10 days. And last Saturday they came to visit us. And it was so wonderful to see, having lived through New York winters, it was so wonderful to see Carrie kind of bloom. Just like she was coming out of herself. It was just such a beautiful girl, just so incredibly beautiful. And it was such a treat to actually meet her, and see that flower.
It's funny. Sometimes it's really nice to have that experience of seeing somebody else's reaction to what we're accustomed to. I like that feeling.
Yeah, yeah, and having lived there, it's so wonderful to come back to the West Coast after a Northeast winter and just kind of watch your body do this thing.
I'd imagine.
Yeah. Galen, how are you? Thank you, Shalay. I love hearing from you.
I think I'm okay.
You think you're okay? Good.
Yeah, I've lived in the mountains since 1977,
Wow.
and the older I get, the longer the winters are. And this particular winter was not anywhere near as bad as some of them that I've been through, but it just seemed to go on forever. And sometime about the middle of February, I started craving that heat from the sun, and now it's here. And to be able to get outside and just feel that, penetrate this is my time of year. This is spring and summer. I just love the heat. Everybody I know is looking for a cool place to be, and I love being out in the heat. I just, I have a couple of forsythia plants in the yard, and it's springtime when the forsythia goes off in just the most brilliant yellow. Sometimes even with snow on the ground, it will bloom. But and then the redbud tree came on this week, and so I really I like all of the garden references too, because I just have a little patch back here that I piddle in, just wander around and look at things. And I tend to back off on the weeding. I have to admit, my yard is like a combination of things that I've planted and things that are indigenous, and sometimes things grow that I never expected. And I mean, I have trees that I didn't plant that grew since I've been here, so it's.
Oh, yeah.
I really related, Lori, to the thing about allergies, because that's been an issue for me forever. I highly recommend the one a day Claritin generic, whatever it is, the antihistamines. Those are good. And the thing about cycles means something to me too. I have the strangest, I think we all have our own cycles, we do adapt to those universals, but I've found myself for the last couple of years in a situation where I work 2 weeks out of the month and then I have 2 weeks off. And so I'm inside all the time while I'm working, doing that office computer data driven kind of drudgery of sorts. It's really not. It's important, and yet being able to just let it go and get outside and see this thing happening is beautiful. So I think I'm okay. It's the second half of the month is coming, so
yeah,
I'm good with it. Good to see everyone.
Good to see you too. Thank you so much. Marsh, how is your garden? Not great.
You're on mute, Marsh. We can't hear you.
Nope. Okay, I think I'm talking now.
Yeah, you are definitely.
What I was saying was it's an embarrassment of riches. It's the ceanothus are in bloom, and the poppies are in bloom, and the gilia are starting to bloom, and the palo verdes are starting to bloom. It's just it's just heavenly here at the moment. So
Oh, amazing.
yeah.
Amazing.
And, you know, this morning, for the first time, I made a reservation to go swimming, which is the first time since, you know, COVID. So I'm like, it's just, and we just had visits from our sons and grandsons, and, you know, we went to the beach and we did all of, you know, all of that coming out from COVID. So I just feel like, yes, the seasons have changed, and yes, we're enriched by it. And yes, Arthur has allergies. We have it all. We've got it all.
Amazing.
As I'm walking the dog around the block, this one part of a hill, we live in the mountains or the hills. This one part of a mountain was so spectacular. I wanted to run home and get Marge to show it to her.
Oh,
Really. It was that green.
Yeah.
wow. It's like Ireland.
Yeah. Keep saying that.
Welcome to Ireland. Yeah, I took photos this morning because I realized, having moved here in September, that soon it will look like a dry bone, you know, and I just want to remember this lush moment. So,
Exactly.
you know, every time I'm going to be looking back on this. Thanks, you guys. Good to hear from you. And welcome back out. I'll think of you that way now. You're out.
Totally.
That's amazing. Sharma, are you still with us?
Yes, I am. I don't have anything inspirational to say. I'm just glad to be here and trying to just manage things. You know, it's always a challenge, but I feel happier to meet the challenge than usual. So that's good. And it's great to see everybody. I don't feel like sharing my face. So my dog is here, and I'm just trying to manage her and my teenage son. And I have a hard time separating them now. You know, they're just like this thing, this entity that I love and want to kill. So there you go. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Sharma. I see your heart, whether I see your face or not.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
My neighbor has the cutest dog I have ever seen. I mean, the face is just like, hi, I'm a cute little white poodle. And she was talking to me on the street. She said, you know, he peed on my bed this week and I just want to kick him. And it took her the longest time to be able to say that because he's so cute. But
yeah,
but she needed
He's
to be
the
able
same way. She's the same way. She's just so amazingly cute. And then she can be such a little bitch. So
yeah,
there it is.
There you go. That's the way it is. Kids and dogs.
Yeah. Same deal.
We love them and you can't eat them. Tal, how are you, darling?
I'm great. I want to show you guys something. Thank you for your talk.
Thank you.
Came out of my parents' garden. So this is what.
Oh my God! Can you turn the
brandy? I don't know if you can see it. It's a brandy. That's the kind, and it smells amazing. So this has been just sitting here as of yesterday or the day before. But anyway, I just wanted to share that because this is just kind of like how I've been feeling. So thank you for your talk.
Yeah.
It's definitely so Chalet and I have been, I should just share this. We've been walking buddies like the past several months.
Nice.
We both, like, the logistics are a nightmare, and it's like, when can you do it? When, like, okay, wait, I'm gonna run late, and like, you know, run in and parking and all of it. And then the minute we're on the walk and after the walk, we're like, thank you so much. Like, we're both just like so grateful for, right, Chalet? Like, we just are like, oh my God, that was amazing. And like, those walks we've been taking, I have just really just enjoyed. And it's just nice to have someone in the Sangha to see regularly. So I don't know, Chalet, if you feel the same way, but we're always like texting each other like, that was so great. Thank you so much. So anyway, just feeling the walks and everything you shared in your talk.
It really does. It
resonated.
helps. It helps so
Yeah.
much. And you're welcome. I hope to speak to you. Hope to speak to you all more. I think it would help Dan if he had a little bit more of a break. I've just, my year's been really busy and a lot of details, and I haven't been able to just even think about adding something else. But now that I've done this one, I will definitely do some more.
Yeah, it was really meaningful. Thank you.
Thanks.